Men are doing a lot for our society, and we are still celebrating them at the EMY Awards here, right here in the Grand Arena. And I have here with me a distinguished man, Kabutey My MC. In fact, he's the MCs of the MCs. Hello, sir.
Yes, my brother. How are we doing?
I'm doing well. Hope you're fine.
I'm fantastic.
You're looking dapper.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It has excellence written all over it.
I love that word. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, what do you think about this award scheme to celebrate men?
Well, first of all, I think that, as we know, a number of awards in our environment, but obviously the EMI Awards has been able to carve a certain unique niche for itself. Apart from the fact that it puts the spotlight on men, which is not something that is very common in our environment. But in recent times, they've opened it up to embrace women as well. But it still remains that distinctively, award show that focuses on men. But beyond that, it is the fact that I believe every year, from my experience and observation, they have been pushing the boundaries. And I feel like they carry with them the audacity to excel and to be excellent year in, year out. And so for me, it is an inspiring environment to be in, to see fellow men, young men, African men who are bold, who are audacious, and who are pursuing big things that will be globally significant. Yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, a few weeks ago, we celebrated International Men's Day. And I saw comments on social media saying that we don't celebrate our men enough. I mean, if it were for the women, they would have been all over, praising themselves. Do you think we celebrate our men enough?
Well, I think the real truth is that men don't celebrate themselves enough. That's what I honestly think. Because if you really look at it, International Women's Day, let's be honest, who celebrates it for the women? The women celebrate it for themselves. But men, I think because of our default orientation, that we are supposed to be providers and protectors. And so for us, we would, it's not so much, we don't see what we do as a big deal. It is just what we are supposed to do. Women will do what they are supposed to do, but they will let the whole world know that this is what we do and we have done it, look at us. But most men would lay back, would just take it as, I have to do this, I have done it, it's not a big deal. Do you understand what I mean? So I think that that's what it is. So for me, I think the emphasis should be that as men, we should celebrate ourselves more. We should give ourselves reason to pat ourselves on the back, reason to stand behind each other, reason to lift others, our equals, our contemporaries, our seniors up, so that every day, every moment, with either International Men's Day or any other occasion, we can be able to see somebody or something that is a step or two above where we are, so we can continue to aspire and continue to achieve. I think that's my position on it.
I agree. Well said. So, I mean, who do you think is your man of the year?
Well, so EMI is interesting in the sense that I'm not sure, I stand to be corrected, I'm not sure whether there are like nominees and then people have to select one, not necessarily. I think that they have a very experienced, board or academy who then do the scouting within the environment, and then they select an individual. So I don't know from which pool they are selecting for me to say this one will be or that will be. But in the past, in previous years, it hasn't changed. Everyone who has come out as EMY Man of the Year, you look at the person, you look at what they have achieved, who they are. You look at them in their embodiment, in the kind of mind they have, the level of creativity, and the amount of impact that they have created and value they have built in our environment. It has never been without a doubt. So this year, equally, I expect that it will be definitely somebody that I'll be able to say, here is yet another example of what I want to be and more as a man. Yeah.
So, I mean, let's talk about you now. You are one of the most patronized master of ceremonies here in Ghana. How do you see the whole MC, sector? How has it evolved for you over the years?
Well, I think it's become very exciting. I think that MCing has moved from just something that, people thought, oh, you do just on the side, to become close to at least an occupation even if not a profession yet. But I feel that capacities are being built. I feel that people who are in the field are now recognizing the need to build themselves up, to learn, and to create a certain standard for themselves in terms of delivery and in terms of making a difference on the events that they host. And so today, I believe that when I started, 13 plus years ago, people didn't think that MCs would make a difference or make an impact. And so the biggest challenge was showing people that an MC makes a difference at an event, especially a professional MC makes a difference. Today, I think that to a large extent, the general public recognizes that if you're hosting an event, and you, if you like, you can go and take your cousin or your uncle or your next door neighbor, that's fine. But you know that when you take a professional, it makes a difference. And I think the most important thing professional MCs bring on board for anybody hosting an event is they give you peace of mind, because you have the assurance that they will do a professional job and it would positively impact the event. So I feel that we have leaps and bounds to go. We can grow the value more. We can grow more equity in it. We can give more demonstrable evidence that MCs are needed, are essential, and definitely would make an impact on events.
So, 13 plus years since you started doing this MC thing. What are some of the challenges you faced, and also how did you deal with them?
Well, to be very honest, I don't really see them as challenges. I was fortunate enough to step into a field at the time which did not exist. There was nothing like professional event MCs. So it was a question of the environment didn't know this. So you have to showcase and prove to the environment that this is relevant and is important. So I don't really see it as a challenge. It just was a consequence of what was prevailing at the time. So once you prove to the environment that, oh, this is relevant, actually, you go for an event with a professional MC, you go for an event without a professional MC, and you see the clear difference between the two. And so for me, that broke the ceiling as far as that was concerned. Then beyond that, it was about stereotyping people. That this person can only do this kind of event, that person can only do that kind of event. I am proud to say that I am quite versatile in terms of my delivery as an MC. So I've been blessed to work across the full scope, from social events to entertainment events to corporate events to state events, from small events to big events as well. So I think that every time one of us delivers excellently, we break the ceiling in one specific consideration or another, and then it helps us to be much more relevant and much more significant. At some point, of course, then value in terms of remuneration, in terms of fees and etc. There was a time when you mention a fee and people were like, are you not just coming to talk? But now people see that it makes a difference, it makes value. So you have people who have built enough competency, enough experience as MCs to be able to do it full time and to still be able to make a working, respectful, means for themselves, and be able to, live a good life with the value that they create as an MC. Then there's also the opportunity of leveraging on the value and the profile that MCing built into other areas of your life. So if you look at me, I have been blessed through MCing for doors to be opened into movies, into theater, into adverts, into brand ambassadorships, exactly. And so we get to a point where an MC, if they build their brand and their profile well enough, they can become as valuable as the biggest musician in town, as the biggest footballer in town, as the biggest businessman in town, in terms of representing something to the wider community, and therefore people seeing value in them to represent them as ambassadors.
As someone who has been in this industry for a long time, what would you say to the current or upcoming MCs who look up to you and also want to make MC their profession?
So I say that when I started, as you asked, the circumstances were different from today. My challenge was I needed to prove to people that MCing makes a difference. But the advantage I had was that I had the advantage of being the first on the scene. Do you understand? So once you prove at one event, you don't just prove to one person. You prove to all the 300-400 people who were at that event. And so with 6 events, you have proven to over 1,000 people, and then it keeps growing and getting better. Today, if you are stepping into the field, you have a different kind of challenge, because now people know what to expect. Clients are demanding, clients are exposed, they are enlightened, so they have a very high expectation of your ability to deliver. And now clients are also not just looking for somebody who is just a good MC in delivering, but they are looking at what else do you bring on board. You know, what level of profile do you bring on board? So that for a client, they want to see that this guy will do a good job. But at the same time, when my guests get to know that this guy is emceeing my event, my guests should be able to be like, oh, that's good. Rather than, who is this? Do you understand? So I tell every, up and coming person that now today, you have to build your craft, but that's not good enough. Find creative ways to build your profile in addition to the craft, so that it helps you to maximize the value that you offer to the market.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicholas.
You look dapper once again.
Thank you so much. I'm
good
grateful. You too. Have a good one. I would appreciate that, sir. Baby.